as you're reaching out to the schools, find out about their financial aid and how they do it. It's better to rip the Band-Aid off and to be broke when you're in your 20s than it is to also be broke and not be a pilot.
Most pilots don't understand what career opportunities are available in the world of aviation. They're making career decisions based on advice from friends or posts on internet forums, meaning they are taking huge risks with their livelihood without having all the details. This podcast was created to help you understand the aviation industry so you can find your dream job. Let's get ready for Pushback. Here's your host and my dad, Nick Fialka.
Hey, pilot. Welcome to another interview episode of Ready for Pushback. I'm Nick Fialka, and today we are having another chat. And this episode goes out to the new guys. If you are focused on trying to become a pilot, if you are really interested and you and a buddy want to go down this path, I want to introduce you to Shemar Baker and Garrett Cooke. These two guys are best buds, and they have been going down the path of becoming pilots. I'm not going to spoil it, but it is a great episode that really dials in on the fact that it takes a village to become an aviator, and you need somebody that's going to lift you up, and this is the episode for that. So if you are interested in flying, if you want to hear a great story about two buddies, this is it. So sit back, relax, let's get ready for Pushback. Hey, pilot, did you just get a new conditional job offer? Are you getting out of the military and going to move your family across the country? Are you going to move in base somewhere, or are you going to go out to find that second home that you've been looking for? Well, I want you to stop right now, pick up the phone, and call Marty and the team at Trident Home Loans. It's an organization that's run by pilots. They understand pilot pay. They understand contracts. They understand military. They have the best VA loans in the United States. Marty and his team have been doing mortgages for years. They've been doing my mortgages for years. I trust him and his team more than any other organization. I challenge you to get a better deal anywhere else. Go ahead, reach out, get a mortgage quote, and then call Marty and his team. They will walk you through the process and show you how competitive their rates are. So go right now, TridentHomeLoans.com, and check them out.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to the podcast. I've got my friends, Shemar Baker and Garrett Cooke. Gentlemen, how are you?
Not too bad. How you doing yourself?
I'm good. I'm chilling. This is going to be awesome. I'm stoked about this. So, Garrett, will you tell us, remind me how we met?
So we met at the OBAP conference in New Orleans about August, I want to say. And we recently got in contact with Tron through our job. We work at Bradley Airport as DG agents, and we were trying to network, and we stumbled across Tron, and Tron told us to come down, and he got us in contact with you. We actually started listening to the podcast a few months prior, and yeah, we wanted to get on the podcast. So
what's a DG? What is that?
A dangerous goods agent.
Yeah, dangerous goods. That sounds badass.
It does. We hype it up for the other people who don't know.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we're in charge of like explosives, radioactives, and all that stuff. We make sure it's secure on the plane, and we do the paperwork for it.
Interesting. Is that a hard thing, Shemar? Is it tough to do?
So I tell people, like, the class is the hardest portion of it. The class is going to beat you up for a week long straight. Once you pass the class, the job becomes, second nature. You know it like the back of your hand. So it's pretty well known.
That's just like flying. That's unbelievable. All right. So you guys want to be pilot? You are pilots, or you want to be pilots?
Want to be pilots.
Yeah. I'd say a little bit of both, because we both have some flying under our sleeve, but we're not, up there yet as we want to be as pilots.
Okay, so what do you imagine? Like 5 years from now, where do you guys imagine yourself?
Ideally, we would want to be American Airlines captains on a wide-body jet. So our plan is to go through the American Airlines Cadet Academy. We made some contact with some of the recruiters down at OBAP, actually. We talked to a bunch, Southwest, JetBlue, United, And over the time, as we thought it through, American Airlines looked like the best choice for us. So we're putting all our money in American Airlines.
So you guys both together, like you
Yes.
both are focused on it.
Yeah.
Did you guys become buddies because you met at doing the dangerous goods stuff?
Yeah.
We were both actually handlers when we first met at FedEx.
Okay.
And then he went on to be a DG agent, and I went on to be a DG agent, and then we just communicated and went on from there.
That's awesome. And so you've got this focus. Why does American work best for both of you guys?
I wouldn't say that's the main reason, but they have multiple locations across the United States, and they have one in Jersey, which also works the best for the two of us because that's close. A lot of other places like Avi, I believe they're only in, where it's like Costa Mesa, Arizona or something like that. That's kind of far. It's not that we're not interested in them. We'd still, expand our options, but just the closest right now is what we're aiming for.
Going down the American path, are you thinking about that New York base? Are you thinking about kind of staying in the Northeast? Other than proximity, what appeals to you about American? Why is it awesome?
I would say definitely the New York base. We have a lot of family up north. I think that plays a huge part why we chose going closer rather than going halfway across the country. I would say familiarity. I mean, we know we've been to New York. Me and Shemar have been to New York plenty of times. I mean, it's like almost a home away from home at this point.
Yeah, I think you'll find as you get to know more and more American pilots, there's a good personality that is developed with that. Plus, you can wear cowboy boots, what's up with that? Let's go. So what are you called me up, we met, you guys are trying to get to the point where you can really start flying. You've got a little bit under your belt. Like, where do you stand right now and how are you going to get moving forward? The reason I brought you on is you have such a story that is very similar to a lot of people that listen. So tell me what the plan is and how you're going to get there.
So right now we are building up money to go to that academy. They recently, actually not even a week ago, just dropped not an application, but almost like an interest letter. So if you're interested, fill it out. We obviously jumped on top of that. We were just talking about it a few days ago. We were like, listen, if we don't put our name on some sort of list or some sort of thing, we want to stay one step ahead. So that's the best way of doing it. And on top of that, they followed up with an email on criteria you need for the interview. We were like, perfect. Let's start studying on it and let's start getting on top of this. So right now, that's our goal, is to get as prepared as possible for this interview and for the application process.
What are you guys doing to prepare?
Right now, they sent us criteria that we need to read through that they're going to be asking during the interview. So we're starting to read through that, take notes, and just go over it with each other.
That's awesome. The beauty of the Cadet Academy, right? No, you don't need to be a pilot already. It's an opportunity for growth. And I love that. I think that there's a lot to be there and to be successful there. And the path is really great because you've got the training portion, but then, as you bounce and you build your hours, and then you end up at the regionals and you end up at one of the wholly owns, PSA, Piedmont, or Envoy, and then you get the opportunity to flow. And that is a really beautiful opportunity. I think you need to be 21 years old to go do it, right?
Yes.
Are you guys both 21?
I'm 22 and Shemar's 21. So we make the cut.
All right.
They made that clear in the application they sent us. It was in bright red words, must be 21. And then they said it takes about 3 years. It's either you must be 21 when you apply or you must be 21 by the time you're done.
Okay. Oh, that's good. Hey, if you're 19, listen to this.
Definitely.
That is interesting. I pulled up their information. It says you need to have high school diploma or GED. It does not say you need a college degree, which is awesome. Do you guys already have your FAA class?
I do.
1 medical, or?
I have to get it renewed in February, so I got to do it soon.
I need to go and actually go grab mine. I just been super busy. I was supposed to go do that months ago with Garrett, but I just fed up, stuck up with so much stuff.
That's right. Get that done.
Yeah.
Passports?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Awesome.
Yeah.
Can you read?
Yeah.
It's on there. It's on the list. Can you imagine? How did you even get that far down the list?
Jeez.
I don't know. I can't read it.
Just have Siri talking it to you. and a background check.
Yeah.
That's important. Any skeletons in the closet yet?
No,
No.
hope none in the future either.
Good. I know, dude. Let me tell you, do not drink and drive. Take an Uber. Call me. I'll get you an Uber. Like,
Definitely will.
don't drink and drive. There's a big daddy threat out there.
Yeah.
And big time speeding too, over 30 miles an hour. That's a big one.
Mhm.
Big threat. Great way to wreck it before you even get started.
Right.
Right.
Cool. And so I already set up this interview.
Timothy P. Pope is a certified financial planner dedicated to guiding professional pilots through smart financial planning. Whether it's saving for retirement, investment management, a seamless military transition, or strategic tax planning, Tim is your trusted financial partner. Also, you can join Tim as he leads engaging discussions on personal finance and strategies for professional pilots on the brand new Pilot Money podcast. Timothy P. Pope, helping professional pilots make the most out of life.
Not yet. No, we just dropped the interested form, I guess you could call it.
Mhm.
And we're just waiting.
Waiting for a response.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to send them all of our information. They have like a list of criteria that we have to send to them. You got to answer all their questions. And once we do send it to them, they said they'll get back to us, but
Yeah,
that's just what we're waiting on now.
that's awesome. Have you guys started looking in and meeting people at American Airlines and trying to figure out how to meet people from American Airlines?
It's funny that you actually asked that because on our way to OBAP, me and Garrett, we were both just in the terminal waiting around, and every single pilot we've seen, we talked to. And we actually got lucky because we ran into, I can't remember his exact name. I got it written down somewhere. We ran into him and he was like, "Oh, you guys interested in being pilots?" And it just happened to be in the right place at the right time. And then the next day we seen him at OBAP.
That's awesome.
So we got his number. We got a lot of numbers, actually.
I think they were both.
Have you been following up?
Yeah, definitely.
Following up, yeah. I think that's important. So with that, I love the networking aspect of things. To me, I'm a people person. I'm a guy who really, I just want to know everybody. I want to know you guys. I want to know the people I don't know. You know, I've got a cajillion people that I connect with on LinkedIn. And I focus a lot on LinkedIn because it's the business version of Facebook without the angsty weirdness or Insta and all that stuff.
Right.
Everybody's got every airline is trying to appeal to people your age. So they're doing the TikToks and they're doing the Instagrams and all the things. Currently, that opportunity to chat people up on LinkedIn is a really great way to get to know people. The opportunities there, you can type in American Airlines and scroll through and see who's at American Airlines. You can type in recruiter and see who's a recruiter. You can go to my profile and look at who I'm connected with and look at who's at American Airlines, and you can connect with them. And what I would tell you, I know you're on the bleeding edge, like just getting ready to jump off the diving board. And I think that it's important for you to remember that you need to put your best foot forward and you can't be a weirdo. Those are the two things about LinkedIn. Guess what? I run a podcast. It says on my LinkedIn that I run a podcast. There are people that search LinkedIn that click podcast, and I'll get people that can't even write a grammatically correct sentence asking me if I want a producer or an editor or a whatever. And they're just kind of spamming me looking out. But I also get messages from people like you guys that are a well-written, short little email. "Hey, Nick, I listened to the podcast. I want to say thank you," or, you know, this, that, or the other. And then they ask a question or two. 1,000% of those I respond to. 1,000%.
Yeah.
Because it's important. Like, I'm not unreachable. I'm not like a celebrity. So it doesn't matter. Even if I was some kind of weirdo celebrity, like,
Yeah.
I still would, because I feel like that's important.
Right.
And so I want to encourage you guys, as you reach out, nice and short. I want to learn more about American Airlines. I want to be an American pilot. I want to connect with you. I'm also looking for a mentor and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Right.
That's actually what we've been doing, not on LinkedIn, but the reason why we got our dangerous goods position is to talk it up with pilots in our day-to-day lives. We're not going to see them at the gas station. If we do, that's great. But 9 times out of 10, you're not going to see them at a gas station. You have to chop it up with where you see them the most, at an airport, us being luckily working at an airport. So we talk to the pilots on a day-to-day, giving them paperwork. And that's how we started becoming DG agents. We just wanted to talk to them. We only have 5 minutes, so we have to make the best that we have in the given time that we have. And that's how we met Tron. Actually, there's another guy, Chad Harris. He's a big part of our development. So we've definitely come a long way. That's how actually we got onto this podcast. So,
Are you still talking to Tron?
yes, absolutely.
You better.
Absolutely. We're actually going to hit him up after this podcast.
Oh, geez. Be like, listen, we just sat down with Nick. What a jerk. Get that guy out of here.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'll be like in the cockpit, like, oh, you know Tron? Oh, yeah, I know Tron. Tron's a great guy. Tron's someone you got to get to know, this and that. So Tron's definitely a good person.
Yeah.
Definitely.
He's one of the best. He's probably the best. He's awesome. And this isn't a Tron love fest, but he gives back. He gives more than he takes. And that's what, like, that mentality of, I did a show about lifting as you climb. And that is what I want. I want you to realize you're being lifted, but you better put your other arm down because somebody else is coming right behind you. Right. And I think that's important. I would say, back to the LinkedIn thing for a second. If you are going to reach out to somebody on LinkedIn and they don't respond back, let them be.
Yeah.
Let them be. Don't do a weirdo follow up. It starts to get creeper zone real quick. I get that all the time, and I just throw it in the junk pile. That's a good thing. Did Tron invite you to OBAP, or were you guys scoping OBAP ahead of time?
We knew about it because actually Chad, maybe last year, almost 2 years ago, he told us about it, but we weren't able to make it down there. And then we met Tron. Tron was like, oh, yeah, we'll get you down there this time.
Yeah. So there's two, in my mind, we got two things, two pillars. We've got the money pillar and we've got the connection pillar. Mm-hmm. Those are the two things we need right now. And then the third one will be the proficiency pillar. And so if you've got the money, then you can start investing in the proficiency, but you can always be building that connection portion of it, the OBAP side of the house or whatever organization you're a part of. And I'll tell you, it's smart to save money. How are you saving the money? Like, what are you imagining this is looking like?
Meaning,
do you just have a savings account? Or are you like, you have a shoebox you're putting dollar bills in, or what are you doing?
Not gonna lie, I just work as hard as possible and just don't spend my money. Sometimes I don't even carry my cards on me. So
yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah, with the temptation, just spend.
Yeah. How much do you, in your mind, do you think you need?
Just based off of like how much flight schools, because we're not just only looking at the Cadet Academy, but how much local flight schools are, other programs like ATP, they're a pretty penny. So we've been looking hopefully around like 10 to 20 to start off.
Yeah.
And then student loans if possible from there.
Yeah, for sure. Once you got to get it kicked off, 10 to 20-ish, más o menos, depends on the situation, but also the school, as you're reaching out to the schools, find out about their financial aid and how they do it. Mm-hmm. And call around, look at what the requirements are for the Cadet Academy and how to do it, and then cast a wide net. You probably don't have to stay local either. Are you willing to go across the U.S., or are you just like, hey, we're stuck in the Northeast?
No, we're definitely willing to go. It would be nice to be, anything in the Northeast, but if we have to go, we go.
Sure. Yeah. So as you're doing that and casting that wide net, take a look at how there are these certain levels, right? Some people have the money. Some people have rich parents and they're going to pay for it, and that's how it's going to be, and that's fine. Some people don't have the opportunity at all, and some people just join the military. And so if you don't have the opportunity at all and you're trying to make it for yourself, you've got to be mindset like, well, I'm either going to have to take the risk and get this huge loan or not. And you need to be either full on or full off, because I always caution people about, hey, I've got 10 grand. I'm going to go to my solo or try to get my sign off for my solo. Well, guys will have a little bit of money. They'll start flying, and then they'll run out of money before the check. And then they'll save up a little more, and it'll take 3, 4, or 5 weeks, and they'll go back and they'll be rusty. And they'll be like, shoot, I need to go refly again and get better. So they'll just get better with that extra money and still not have done the check. And it will repeat itself. And it's a self-licking ice cream cone. And you've got to be, it's better in my mind. Listen, don't take financial advice from a pilot. But like in my mind, it's better to rip the Band-Aid off and to be broke as shit when you're in your 20s than it is to also be broke and not be a pilot. So what are you going to do, right?
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
So as these next steps come forward, what are you thinking about like a timeline? How do you develop this timeline? You got no other attachments. You're just working. You're just banging out some time or banging out some money, like working the ramp and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What do you imagine a timeline looking like?
Hey, pilot. Does your pilot uniform make a short flight feel like a transcon slog? Flight Uniforms have reinvented aviation shirts with 3D stretch, stain repellents, and no wrinkles. These shirts are just plain comfortable and ready for takeoff right out of your rollerboard. Flight Uniform is trusted by more than 25,000 pilots, and their flagship flight shirt has over 1,500 five-star reviews. I've worn every pilot shirt out there, and if you know me, you know I only wear Flight Uniforms. Be the envy of every cockpit at flightuniform.com and get a special podcast exclusive discount with the code SpitfirePod20 to take 20% off your first order. That's SpitfirePod20, all one word, for 20% off your first order at flightuniform.com.
Well, for the program that we want to go to, they claim they're supposed to open up January, early February, which that's honestly, they told us that 2 months ago. We're like, oh, we got time. And then, we blink and it's around the corner. So
Yep.
if we want to go as fast as possible, however long it takes.
Yeah.
Do you guys have resumes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We actually
Jason helped us with that.
Yeah, Jason helped us out at Spitfire, and we got him ironed out. There's not a lot right on the resume as of right now, but volunteering for stuff right now, also a good idea. We started looking into that and just freshening up the resume as best we can.
Yeah, 1,000%. I love that. So you're waiting for the call for the interview or for an invite to go interview or to do however they're going to do it, whether it's going to be like this on Zoom or if it's going to be in person or anything like that. Have you talked to Tron about doing any interview prep to get ready?
That's what we're going to do after this podcast, actually.
Yeah.
We talked about it last night. We already got everything written up, what to say to him. We've got to talk to him now because I know that's what he does on the side is the Spitfire consulting.
Thanks.
Yeah, what he does on the side is he flies for FedEx.
Ah, there you go. Makes sense.
That's what he does on the side. I'll tell you what, the Spitfire monster is a good machine and and we love it. And so you're right. And I want to encourage you to do that because I was at OBAP and I saw Tron, a little boy walked up to Tron and he asked him if he was a pilot and Tron says yes. And he's probably 11 or 12. And he said, "Oh man, are you going to OBAP?" And he said, "I am." And the little boy said, "Man, that sounds so cool. We drove all the way down from North Carolina and we couldn't get tickets." And it was just sweet as could be. And Tron said to him, "Well, I got you. Come on." And he invited him over and you couldn't meet a better person. Tron is like the king of OBAP. So got him tickets, got him swag, got him like fancy luncheon. He was so excited. He wants to join the Air Force and he was surrounded by Air Force like generals and colonels and stuff. But the one thing that resonated with me was Tron said, "Closed mouths don't get fed."
Mm-hmm.
And I love that statement. And I love the giving nature that he's got. And so for all the pilots that are listening here and listen to this coaching call, closed mouths don't get fed. I'm starting to talk about that a lot more because I love how impactful that is for this industry. And so you guys are doing the right thing because I tell you what, I will do a lot of walkarounds. I walk around a lot of airports and I've got, I don't know, I would say probably 10% of the time somebody will approach me to talk about becoming a pilot, maybe a little less. And it's just ones and twos. But those ones and twos, like I'll give them my card. I'll tell them like, they got me. Like I'm part of their team for life. And so if you are wanting to be a pilot and you are working around pilots, then go and lean forward in that. Because some guys are going to be jackasses about it. Some guys won't give you the time of day. They'll be like, "Yeah, good luck, kid." But like some guys are drawn.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And it also helps to surround yourself with like-minded individuals. Like when I met Shemar, our common goal was let's be a pilot. So motivating each other is the biggest motivation you could get from maybe meeting a pilot, him saying, "Yeah, I got you." Yeah, that's motivation, but it's also motivation having somebody right beside you motivating you. "Yeah, let's go and talk to this person. Yeah, let's go apply for this. Let's go do something that's productive towards our goals." That's what you want to, I would say.
It's fascinating. You guys are such a team. It's really cool to see.
Funny, actually, because so when we first started there, we didn't have our SIDA badge, so we weren't even allowed to go out and talk to like the pilots and all that. So we made up with the mechanics. We wanted to be aircraft mechanics, and then we got our SIDA badge. We were like, "Yo, look, there's a pilot. Let's go talk to him." And then from there on, that was it. We wanted to be pilots.
Yeah, that's so good. I'll tell you, as you start flying, there's a high likelihood one of you will progress faster than the other, and somebody may have trouble one way or the other. And I want you to keep whoever's having the harder time or slowing down or whatever, like keep motivating, don't regret that part. Don't feel like you're not good enough, because you are. And look at Garrett's shirt. It says you matter. And that's important, right? You matter and you can do it and you can succeed. You want to talk about a guy that's slow? You're talking to him right now. You laugh. I struggled with a lot of flying, and I just don't quit. Like, even when they tell me to quit, I'm like, screw it. I just keep going.
Yeah.
I've done that my whole life. Be tenacious, keep moving. Don't get down on yourself when it's hard, because it's going to be hard and you're going to have crosswinds. You're going to have tests that suck. You're not going to get something. You're like, I don't understand that shit. Like, I still read that. I'm like, I still read stuff. I'm like, what is this? And that's important, because if you are, it just doesn't work. It's just not a place for regret and frustration like that. You got to be in your zone. You got to be loose. You got to be Muhammad Ali, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I think. I'm excited for you guys. This is going to be awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate it.
Man, what questions am I not talking about? What are we missing?
So far, we've hit them all in the stone, actually.
Definitely fit them all. I think we touched upon working together as a team. That was something at first I was just like, oh, we should have fit it in the beginning, but we finally got it at the end.
Well, it's true though. Like, you guys are a little posse. It's cool. It's like, if you had horses, you'd be like riding out west.
Yeah. We got another guy in our friend group. He's going to be an aircraft mechanic. So together we're the Three Musketeers.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the Three Amigos movie? Do you even know what that is? You're like 20. Listen, you guys go get some beers and go watch the Three Amigos. Definitely. It's on, you can stream it, and it's magnificent. It's so dumb. You're going to love it. Okay, so, hey, pilot, if you're listening, hey, Corey Glenn, if you're listening, director of the American Cadet Academy, all your people, all the guys and gals that are at American Airlines, will you please reach out to Shemar and Garrett? I'm going to have their email addresses in the show notes. I'll have their Instagram handles. Or if you're just a pilot or you're cruising around, you're looking for somebody else to join up with,
definitely talk to us.
Reach out to the guys. All that's going to be there. And that's important, because they're trying to get into the brotherhood and sisterhood of what we do. And so I want to encourage you, Blue Angels, Thunderbirds, astronauts, whoever's listening, like, reach out. Let's go. Regular guy, regular gal, reach out. You're at OBAP, you're at NGPA, you're at Women in Aviation, you're at LPA, all the things. Which ones am I forgetting? PAPA, RTAG, TPN.
Alpha,
yeah. Get some union guys out there, APA.
Definitely.
Let's go. Reach out. Just click the podcast notes, click the link, send them a quick message, and link up and give them some guidance and bring them in, because they're great. Guys, thanks for being with me.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate it a lot.
All right, pilots, that's a wrap on this episode. And I know what you're thinking. You need to make yourself a little bit better. So how do you make yourself a little bit better? You tighten up your resume. So here's what I want you to do. Go over to my website, spitfireelite.com/podcast, and you can download my free resume template. It is literally my resume that you can download, and you can put your own skill sets in. It is tight, it is organized, and it's the perfect pilot resume. It's just something I like to do for the pilot group, and it is free to you. So go over there, spitfireelite.com/podcast, and download your free resume template. While you're over there, look at all the services that we offer. Lots of great interview prep, lots of great application review. Everything you need to be a professional pilot is right there at my website, spitfireelite.com/podcast. Thanks, and I'll see you on the next episode.